I'm Wade Gibbs. For this hands-on project for IEEE Spectrum, I'm creating a high-definition digital art frame that I can control with the wave of a hand. The inspiration for this project came from my mother, Sylvia Gibbs, a professional artist working in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. I have a portfolio of my mom's artworks, but not nearly enough wall space to hang them all. And some of my favorite works of hers are in private collections. I have only photographs of them. My solution is to make a digital art frame that looks good enough to hang on the wall, but can display an essentially unlimited number of artworks. I chose a relatively inexpensive HD monitor that had a thin, unobtrusive bezel and could hang on a VESA wall mount. The display is controlled by a Raspberry Pi 2 Model B, which is small enough to fit between the monitor and the wall, even when it is placed inside a protective case. A 32GB SD card in the Pi stores its software and all of the artwork I want to display, and the Pi connects to my home network through a USB Wi-Fi dongle. I used a gesture sensor board based on the APDS9960 infrared sensor, which connects to the Pi's GPIO pins and communicates via the IIC bus. I used a case that can be mounted on screws, and after working out a layout that would hide all of the cables out of view, I drilled 2 holes in the back of the monitor case and inserted mounting screws. I had to trim a right-angle cable header to fit onto the Pi's GPIO pins for the sensor connection, and I had to do a little minor surgery on the monitor case to make space for the Pi's power connector. A very short HDMI cable and a right-angle adapter allowed the Pi to plug into the monitor. The next step was to make a cover to conceal the power cables for the monitor and the computer, and to enclose the gesture sensor. I chiseled out a niche the right size for the sensor board to fit into, and then drilled a peephole for the infrared detector to peer through. Then I rabbited a channel for the power and sensor cables. The sensor needs a wide angle of view, so the front of the hole should be beveled. With the cover complete, I routed all the cables, taped them in place, and hung the frame up on the wall. Before I could test the system, I needed to digitize the portfolio of my mother's artwork. Many of the pieces are too fragile or too large to scan using my sheet-fed or flatbed scanners. But Fujitsu's new SV600 book scanner made quick work of it. This scanner has very nice software that automatically corrects for skew and lighting conditions. With the artwork loaded onto the Pi, I wrote a little bit of code to translate the signals from the gesture sensor into commands passed to the open source media server that's built into the OSMC operating system, which is available for the Raspberry Pi. I configured OSMC to launch its picture viewer upon booting and to run the gesture detection code in the background. And there it is. Whenever I want to change the art on display, all it takes is a sweep of the hand. It's like having a virtual museum in my own house. Only in this museum, the artwork stares at me. You've heard of MoMA? Well, this is Mama.